And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're going to talk about what you should stop doing. We're going to talk about the priorities that we as men of high value should develop in our lives. And why is that? Because it's all about priorities. The things that you prioritize is going to make up your life, basically. And so let's first start with the things that we should stop doing. That came from the book Good to Great. I've mentioned it before, by Jim Collins. Absolutely fantastic book. Read it 10 to 12 times. Don't remember how many. But it talks about before you can have a start doing list, you should have a stop doing list. Okay, so the things that you spend a lot of time on is the reason why you don't get to have time to do the things that you should be doing, right? There's tons of things that you know should be done or need to be done or that you want to get done, or the bucket list that you have. Whatever it is, very often you don't have enough time to do those things. But the reason is because you're doing a bunch of non-essential things that you should eliminate from your life as much as possible. So let's talk a little bit about that. The other book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen R. Covey. He talks about that there's 4 quadrants to the time matrix. Basically says Q1, quadrant 1, is when things are important and crisis decisions because of people's lives. And because they do that, then, it's a crisis. And the reason why the crisis is here is because they didn't spend enough time in quadrant 2, which is the important but non-crisis box. In that box, it's basically, if that's the one that you should be spending the majority of your time on, as long as you get out of the quadrant 1 as soon as possible. You got to tackle quadrant 1. But when you're not in quadrant 1, you should pretty much only be in quadrant 2. That's where joy and happiness is. That's where basically you will find the most fulfillment in your life. The important but non-crisis. Because you're doing things that are important to you. You're doing things that are according to what you want to do at that specific time. And that will create the results in your life that you desire. The other 2 quadrants are what we're talking about today, which is important, no, which is not important, but crisis. Okay? Those are the things that we think are crisis situations that we need to handle, but actually they weren't important at all to us. Those are the things that we should stop doing. And then you have quadrant 4, which is basically things that are not important and they're not crisis either. We should completely eliminate that one as well. So where do we start? Well, first of all, this channel starts with allow yourself to be led, lead yourself, lead a team. Leading women and kids are obviously not part of our priority right now, and that's why we're saying voluntary celibacy for those that are not married or largely committed to the one that you're going to be with for the rest of your life. For all the rest of you guys, voluntary celibacy is the rule, not the exception, the rule. Okay? I don't need to tell you what to do, but I'm gonna. If you're gonna be on this channel, then, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If you want to take the truth, then I don't care. But taking the truth and applying it to your life and aligning yourself with the correct priorities in order for you to get the most bliss and happiness out of your life, why would you not do that? Trust me, voluntary celibacy for most of you is where it's at. Don't involve yourself romantically with women. I've gone on and on and on. Watch my last video if you don't understand why. But that's what we're talking about. Allow yourself to be led. Okay, that's what we're doing right now. And if you haven't tried a free consultation with coaching with me, you should. Okay, most of my clients, the ones that are listening to this message, they're like, bro, you got to do the free consultation, man, because it's insane the path that he puts you on. Yeah, anyway, but contact me with the DM on @menofhighvalue on Instagram if that's of interest to you. But the second one is lead yourself. And what are the things that you should lead yourself in? First things I mentioned on this channel is semen retention and voluntary celibacy. Semen retention, voluntary celibacy, and porn. Avoiding porn. This is probably the biggest and hardest thing that people can can do right now during this quarantine. What are they doing all day? They're watching porn. That's what the majority of men out there are doing every single day, just fapping and yapping, and they're doing it like nonstop. Why? Because they don't have to go to work, they don't have to go outside their house, and they've got no weekend parties to go to. They don't have uh they don't meet girls outside, and so it's basically, well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be online and watch porn. That is so disgusting. Okay, I have to just tell you guys, and you guys know how disgusting it is and how pathetic it is, really, when you look at it. Now, obviously, I understand if it's an addiction, and yes, it's going to take time to get over it. But in order for you to get over it, you got to figure out why it is so destructive. Study up on it, understand it, so that you can once and for all get that out of your life. Do you understand how many hours you can save for the rest of your life if you simply give it up? No porn, no masturbation, no orgasm, just simple voluntary celibacy, allowing your semen production to work on its own and allow your body to regulate it in order for you to use that creative force to create and to accomplish your goals and to manifest and do the sexual transmutation thing that we're talking about here. Those are some things that we should completely stop doing. Are you with me? So, other things that we should stop doing. Reading the news, okay? It's completely unnecessary. Now, obviously, during this time frame, you've probably spent some time now understanding about the coronavirus, trying to figure out some conspiracy theories, trying to figure out this and that and the other, and creating some opinions of your own. Right now, you've probably heard enough, and it's time to move on in terms of what's the next step? What should you do next? Okay, do you have a job that you can do from home online? If you don't, start it. Okay, if you're now unemployed because of what has happened with your job, which is the case for a lot of people around the world today, start learning online. Start figuring out, how can I make myself useful? If you're not afraid of the coronavirus, then go out there and get jobs from people that are hiring, because there's tons of people that are hiring right now. And I'm talking delivery people, I'm talking Uber Eats, I'm talking whatever you can in order for you to start a full-time job. If you're not afraid of the coronavirus, if you are afraid of the coronavirus, I don't blame you. And I would just simply stay at home and learn how to make money online, because there's tons of ways to do that. But understand that you're competing against millions upon millions of people who are starting right now to start doing online businesses. So, but you know what? With this channel, being a man of high value and being an emotionally consistent, you're going to be ahead of the crowd, because you're not going to give up, and you're going to figure out ways to discipline your life in such a way that you can actually put in 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day into your business consistently to build it up over a long period of time. What are some other things that I wanted to mention? So you saw, you took out the news. We can, in terms of your business, then you should try to eliminate that as much as possible. Obviously, stick around with this channel, stick around with the best type of channels out there. Personally, I check out Grant Cardone once in a while, Patrick Bet-David on Valuetainment. I listen to Graham Stephan. There's some other, YouTubers that I listen to once in a while, just simply to keep up to date. But bro, I've got like a family and 3 kids, so it becomes very crazy at times, and I can't just spend time with the kids all of the time. I need to spend time educating myself for you guys and also for me. And that's why I spend, some time on YouTube in order for me to prepare all of the things that I'm talking about here. But for you guys, if you don't have a business, then I recommend that you figure out what that business is immediately. Okay, spending some time on the long-term picture, on your 10-year goals, on your 100-year goals, and establishing them on paper with the pen, and making those strides in your life right now. But Again, we got to figure out what to eliminate in order for us to create the time in order for us to do that. So what are some other things? There's a lot of guys that are spending time worrying about nutrition. Now, nutrition is fantastic, and what you eat is, of course, extremely important as well, obviously, and also exercise, right? But you gotta understand, like I've had several guys come up to me and say, like, bro, you'd be a lot more credible on your Men of High Value channel if you built some bulk and you became a bit bigger. And yeah, sure, I was going to the gym, once. Actually, I was at the gym 3 or 4 times a week before the coronavirus started happening. But to be honest with you, bro, I it's not a huge priority. For me, it's not. Yeah, maybe my YouTube channel would grow faster if I did. But to be honest with you, like, I'd rather build a business. I'd rather figure out my financial foundation first, because once you've got your money working for you, then you can actually hire coaches. You can hire personal trainers. You can hire chefs to get you the perfect 5,000 calorie a day type of meal, or meals, in order for you to pump iron in the gym and make things happen. But and then it will happen quickly. But if you try to do it right now all on your own, you got to realize that personal growth and achieving your goals is not a private effort. It's not a personal effort. It's a team effort. But in the beginning, you're on your own. So what should you be spending most of your time on? Should you be spending your time on your health? Now, health is important, but only to the degree that it helps you to produce cash. I'm kind of extreme now, but you got to see it from that perspective of setting up your financial foundation, getting the right things right first. Because once you lead others, once you're able to tap into your financial foundation and having that set up right and getting in the passive income because you have multiple income streams, I would rather you, to be honest with you, exercise once or twice a week for 30 minutes. Just go and do some cardio out on the street. You don't even need to go to the gym. And then you're done, because that will keep you going for the rest of the week. You don't have to bulk up 6 days a week in order for you to be a man of high value. Eventually you'll get there. But to do that every single day right now, setting up your meal time, setting up this and that and the other, hiring, maybe, like, doing that if you don't have the cash is not optimal, especially not if you're going to live voluntary celibacy for a short period of time, right? I don't know. This is just my opinion. You guys can write your comments down below and explain what you think about what I'm saying right now. But seriously, I'm thinking from the standpoint of riches. I'm thinking from the standpoint of becoming a leader. I'm thinking from the standpoint of establishing your core values and beliefs and your long-term plan, and figuring out a consistent routine that you can stick to consistently over a long period of time. I'll give you an example. I had a good friend that I did morning sessions with every single day for 6 months about a year ago. And he's a great guy, but he exercised every single day, well, 6 days a week, and then took a break on Sundays. And he was trying to get his meals right, and at the same time he had school. He refused to quit school because I got to finish school, which was okay. And then he had a job, and then he had like 4 or 5 different projects at the same time that he wanted to do, because all of these are amazing projects. What would I have recommended him to do? You guys probably know the answer, because I've already told you multiple times what the situation is. I would tell him to get rid of all of the projects except for his favorite one that would produce immediate cash flow over time in order for him to replace his job. But first, he would have to keep his job, or get a better job that pays more if he wanted that, and then start the side hustle, and then completely avoid women, which he, by the way, did not do. He started having a girlfriend, and started inviting her to to come and visit him, and he visited her, and they went on vacation together, and basically wasting time. He was still being kind of voluntary celibate, though, just to be honest. And then he had and then he had his exercise regimen that he did every single day, 6 days a week. Do you understand how busy he was, not accomplishing anything? And what is he doing now? Guess what? He's still in school. He hasn't finished any of his project that I know of, and he's now about to progress further with his relationship with his girlfriend and probably exercising just as much as before. He could have been a completely different space if he had listened to my counsel 1 year ago. He would have been financially free right now, not needing a job, never needing his degree, if he had simply listened to me 1 year ago and said, you know what, I'm going to follow what Joseph recommends and I'm going to make it happen. Did he do that? No, he didn't. You know someone who did? Looooooong, at looooooong, Louaista on Instagram. That's my client. He joined me in June, basically 6 months after this past guy that did the coaching with me every single morning. We did kind of like an exchange thing, so he got it for free. I've been giving tons of coaching for free for many years, but now this is the time I started actually taking money for it. And guess what? People that pay for it get results. The guy who didn't pay for it, we had great chemistry and good accountability going on, but he didn't take my advice. You know why? Because he didn't pay me any dimes. That's the problem. Looooooong, he did. The first time he had a first free consultation with me, he got a special offer that lasted for a few hours and with a massive discount. And if he didn't pay within that deadline, then he'd have to pay the full price. Guess what happened? Looooooong missed that payment or missed that deadline, and he had to pay the full price. And he came back to me and, Joseph, can I get the discount? And I said, bro, no, if you want to be a client of mine, you have to pay full price now. And he's like, damn, you know what? Let's do it. I'm ready. And he did it. Can you understand what would have happened with his life if he had not taken that full price offer? Do you know what happened yesterday? He made $5,000, almost. It was like 4,800 something in revenues, together a little bit with my sales help. He did half of it. I did half of it. And with a 32K Instagram account selling canvases. That's insane. And he quit his job, basically working as a mom and pop store, stocking shelves, making about $1,500 a month or whatever that it was that he was making. He tripled his salary in like less than 6 months. And now he's totally free. He's learned how to sell. He can establish any business he likes. He has 3 to 4 or three part-time employees right now, and he's enjoying his life. Like, a lot. Like, it's amazing. He'll never need a boss ever again. So I'm just saying, what is it that you should stop doing? Figure out the things that you should stop doing that are not relevant to you establishing your financial foundation and becoming financially free. This is the time when the biggest wealth transfer in history will occur. And you can be part of being an entrepreneur and getting that money that is becoming available right now as we speak, or you can be one of those that don't have money at all because you're unemployed or you can't find work simply because you haven't listened to this channel. Which one do you want to be, guys? Leo, thank you so much for participating on this live stream. Thank you. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm excited to keep you going on the Men of High Value streak. And I'll see you in the next video.